I feel like everyone is staring at me.
Are you crazy?
What I'd like to say about schizophrenia is that no one knows what it is, not even me.
Paranoid schizophrenia.
No clue. What do you think it is?
It's a scary thing.
Paranoid schizophrenia is when you think everybody's out to get you.
Especially paranoia.
Maybe paranoia is part of it.
If I was a psychiatrist, I would probably know the answer to that.
I think doctors, psychiatrists have a handle on what the symptoms are and what the physiological aspects of the disease, but there is no cure, and it's really individualized. It's schizophrenia is different for different people.
At first it was just kind of unreal. I didn't really know what was going on.
Like, I reported to the doctor that the colors changed flavors. I was young and I didn't know what was going on. I now know what happened was that the colors became very vivid and lucid.
In the beginning, schizophrenia was diagnosed, unfortunately, a lot in the same way that we diagnose it today. And that is by what symptoms the person had.
I thought monsters were following me down the street. I thought people were following me down the street. I saw this cat. I was at my parents' apartment and I saw this cat, this black cat, and it had a purple aura around it, and I thought that it knew something, like it knew something important.
And they have this feeling inside themselves that there's some personal connection between the stranger and themselves. Or they'll be watching something on TV or listening to something on the radio, and they'll feel like there's some connection there between the song being played or what the news is for the day on the TV station. And it's very easy to see how you go from there to coming to believe that maybe they're spying on you, or they're trying to follow you, or they're trying to harm you in some way.
It became where he would have be paranoid and trying to be hiding under the bed, and trying to get me to hide under the bed with him.
I kind of realized something was wrong, and I got very upset.
Part of the syndrome of schizophrenia had to do with the idea of the person being kind of caught up in their own mind, kind of responding to things inside themselves, inside their own mind, instead of the outside world. What happens with hallucinations and schizophrenia is you're kind of dreaming during the daytime. Some people at least have looked at it that way.
At parties, I feel like it's something I just don't do anymore because it's too stressful.
All right.
Who's inside? Everybody else is in the room. Y'all come in and make yourself comfortable.
I'm real nervous. I'd rather not be here. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I don't know.
That's why I'm here.
You never know what people are thinking.
Yeah, so.
No one to trust. Oh man. I guess from what I hear, like you say, I hear that everything's good, and that's what I try to operate on. I try to keep that up front, but in the back, on the back burner, there's always that fear. Fear of the unknown. first time I was hospitalized, I was very afraid of the people in the hospital. I was afraid to participate in the groups, and I did not want to socialize with folks much, and I wanted to just basically stay in my room.
The real disability from schizophrenia doesn't come from hallucinations and delusions. The real disability comes from problems with cognition, energy, motivation, problems with social avoidance, those sorts of things.
I have a real hard time managing jobs. I start them and then quit them, start them and quit them. I probably had over 50 jobs. The same thing with school. I tried to attend UT numerous times with just, failure or withdrawal happening rather quickly.
After I realized that, this might not go away, it was quite terrifying.
It was really scary when he was suicidal, which I would go to work, I'd go to school, I'd imagine that when I came home maybe he'd be dead.
Occasionally I do get depressed about it, and I just think, well, maybe I should just give it 5 more years and then just out of here,
If you tell a psychiatrist you're suicidal, you're going to be hospitalized.
Almost all the drugs that we had up until the 1990s were based on simply blocking dopamine. Too much dopamine in certain brain areas leads to some of these distortions and hallucinations and things like that. Nobody thought you could treat negative symptoms.
You're young and you think, I can save them, I can fix them up.
Third time I was hospitalized, I actually enrolled in a drug study for a medication that eventually led me to be compliant in taking my medication.
I ended up being a guinea pig for an experimental psychiatrist, but it's been a good experience for me. The treatment I receive is successful, is very successful. The decade of the brain, they called it, was the 90s, and that's when they came out with all these atypical antipsychotics, which don't have the serious side effects of the older antipsychotics.
Those drugs, because they block dopamine indiscriminately in the brain, you couldn't see any kind of a therapeutic effect of the drugs for like hallucinations or something like that without seeing the negative impact of the drugs because we all need dopamine to move.
Now I religiously take medication because it helps without the side effects.
It helped me to understand that I really can't save him, so I quit trying really. But then it was harder on him because he realized I wasn't going to do it for him, he'd have to do it himself.
Kind of like propping up a person, but the person eventually has to prop themselves up.
People have a lot of very interesting things artistically, that happen with schizophrenia and experiences that give them different perceptions and angles and ways of looking at things.
I'm fortunate to have a lovely wife, and I also have some abilities with writing and playing music.
It makes sense because if your experience is subjected to extremes of emotion, and intensities of emotion that most people don't have the opportunity to experience, if you kind of are able to kind of come back from that and relate what that's like or what those perspectives are like, it has to give you some insights and some associations that other people might not have.
Since it's been so long, we've been together about 15 years, when he starts to, usually sometimes I really just get annoyed because it's like, don't do that again, it's not real.
I think first of all she is one of the most kind and understanding human beings on the face of the planet.
I usually try to ignore it, and then when I realize it's not going to go away, that he's really upset about something or obsessed about something, then I try to talk to him and we just talk it out and try to figure out what reality is.
Even in my most darkest moment, I've always had at least an inkling of hope. April loves me unconditionally. That's more than any person could ask from any other person. The way she helps me with symptoms, it's definitely saved my life. Yeah, she's made my life.